As usual, I have to preface this with I don't want to do any of this. All I really want to do is sink into the earth and disappear. Life doesn't go away just because you want it to. So here we go. Here's part 2. In my family, nobody, including my sick mother, whom back in 2009, 2010, my aunt helped get sectioned into various mental hospitals 5 times in an 11-month period. That's in parentheses, of course. So, in my family, nobody, and then parentheses, then questions anything that my aunt says or does. My aunt has continuously touted herself as being my mother's protector from me, the black sheep daughter who was after my mother's money. But my aunt's long-time accusations against me truly do not hold water when you look past all her various half-truths and outright lies and simply examine the facts. Back in 2008 and 2009, my mother, who, because of my aunt's legal expertise, now had a substantial amount of money for the first time ever in her life, did gradually send a lot of that money to me, her beloved daughter, when I was trapped in an ongoing abusive situation and needed my mother's help. I am far from perfect. I've admittedly made loads of mistakes in my life, but at the end of the day, I'm still my mother's daughter. I'm still her only child, whom she says she loves more than anything else in the world. And as a good friend and longtime supporter of mine recently pointed out to me, my half-aunt can't crawl back into my mother's womb and become my mother's daughter. Like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. But contrary to what my aunt has for years now been telling anybody who would listen to her, I'm not after my mother's money. I'm simply out to protect my rightful inheritance from potentially being stolen right out from under me by a family member of mine who has never given me any reason to trust her in any manner whatsoever. And I want a judge to decide what's in the best interest of my schizophrenic mother. I want a judge to decide. A judge, and not my half-aunt, who undeniably gained all of this power over my mother in a flaky, underhanded manner, and who waves around that power of attorney as if it's the Holy Grail. I want a judge to have the final say in regards to what he feels is in the best interest of my mentally ill mother. The judge, not my aunt, making that decision. Okay? I know that the second this all becomes out in the open, the second this all comes out in the open, my aunt is going to justifiably drag my character through the mud. But I have strong evidence that supports my assertion that my aunt is not now acting and has never acted in good faith in regards to this very powerful document that simply gives my aunt too much power to screw me over in the event that something bad happens to my mother. My aunt has used my mother's trust, naivete, outright ignorance, and desire to not upset the family to continuously pull the wool over my mother's eyes. My mother, who was on a daily cocktail of 3 very potent psych meds, remember, this is the rough draft. When I make it the final one and print it out, I'll do this video all over again and make it long. My mother's memory loss has only gotten worse over the years. And for the past 3 years, my mother has been on a daily cocktail of 3 very potent psych meds. All of these factors combined have made it extremely easy for my aunt to continuously trick my mother into trusting my aunt 100%. As far as I'm concerned, my aunt plays God with my mother's life. I know for a fact, because my mother tells me everything, that my aunt has on different occasions over the years, on various occasions over the years, used manipulation, intimidation, and outright threats in order to keep in line, quote-unquote in line, my mother whom I feel should have every right in the universe to question my aunt about anything that pertains to my mother's estate and finances. In February of 2010, I learned the hard way that my aunt also has health care proxy over my mother. And just as was the case with that durable power of attorney, my mother was never given full disclosure when it comes to this health care proxy. And as it stands now, I have no legal rights whatsoever when it comes to my own life. Is that right? Is that fair? My aunt has been bad-mouthing me for years, but my aunt is far from clean in regards to any of this. I even have strong reason to believe, and the evidence to back up my claim, that my aunt actually committed credit card fraud in order to make it look like I had stolen my mother's credit cards. As you can see, this is serious stuff going on here, and I want and deserve to have my name cleared. I also want and deserve to see some checks and balances placed upon my aunt, who, as it stands, has free rein to do pretty much whatever she wants when it comes to my undeniably conflicted, mentally ill mother, who admitted to me just last week that she fears her half-sister, who she also loves and understandably doesn't wish to anger. Conclusion. Since I have recently been diagnosed as being mentally ill myself, and have been consequently granted Social Security disability for psychological reasons, something my half-aunt is fully aware of, by the way, I imagine that the likelihood of any judge granting me guardianship over my sick mother is very small, and that's okay, because at least this will finally be all out in the open. And my aunt will be forced to account for both her past and present actions in regards to all of this. And so it's finally out in the open. I know I will have to abide by whatever decision a judge makes in regards to this matter. But regardless of whether or not a judge rules in my favor, at least I will finally have closure and maybe a small amount of peace. My mother's not getting any younger. And since I finally have the required finances required funds needed to hire a lawyer and fight my aunt, I know that the time for me to fight her is now, while my mother still has all her faculties intact and can sit privately with my lawyer or with a person from the organization that handles alcohol abuse or with the judge, and to the best of her ability, simply tell all of the aforementioned people the truth. Something she promised she would do right away, by the way. I told her, like, Mom, I just want you to not perjure yourself. If they ask you if you're afraid of Marion, you say, yes, I am. I love her, she's my sister, and but I do fear asking her anything when it comes to my own finances and estate, and I don't feel that that's right, and I want to do things for Laura, my daughter. I want to put this house in a living trust for her. I'd like her to become guardian over me if that's something, that is possible, but at the very least, I want checks and balances placed upon my sister, even if she does continue to take care of my finances. As it stands, my mother will not, she fears questioning anything when it comes to her sister, who undeniably on more than one occasion has used intimidation, manipulation, and outright threats to keep my mother in line. My mother used to call me when I was living in LA. Okay? I know all of this. I know all of it, and it's not right. It's simply not right. Okay? This part 1 and part 2 is pretty much what I am going to be printing out and handing to people. People who maybe, hopefully, can help me. I'm not after my mother's money. I simply want to protect my rightful inheritance from potentially being stolen right out from under me. And I simply want have some legal rights when it comes to my own mother. Her ignorance is gonna, her ignorance in regards to all this is just not good. As I said, she won't say anything to my Aunt Marion, and she'll just let it go on, and I trust her, Laura, and whatever. Okay, Mom, but I don't trust her, and if you love me, you'll at least tell the truth. I'm the one getting the lawyer, I'm the one paying for the lawyer, I'm the one doing this. All that I'm asking from you, Mommy, is to just tell the to the best of your ability, tell the fucking truth. That's it. The end.